Oh, I thought I hit tonight on the podcast, we're going to be talking about the new Batgirl images, the fact that Boba Fett sucks, a new acquisition at Xbox, and much, much more. Looking forward to talking about it soon. What's up, everybody? You are listening to the Absolute Geek Podcast, the best podcast on the interwebs.
The best. Max. I'm Lance.
And you need to turn your mic down, dude. You are like...
Am I coming in hot?
You are coming in hot AF, bro.
Coming in hot. Was there music playing when you played the intro?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear anything.
Well, hopefully the viewers did. Because I did. I heard it.
Yeah, I didn't hear nothing.
Otherwise, when that gets put on the podcast in particular, people are going to be like, what's up with the 30 seconds of silence? Or however long the video is.
We really need to get like a original intro song.
I love that
you're
one.
Listening to the fucking Absolute Geek Podcast, you know?
Man, I love that one.
Yeah, but it'd be cool to have something that's ours, ours.
That's the musician in you. You just want to create something.
Well, we got the Cosby wine thing at the end, like that's fantastic. You know, we need an intro song. But dude, you and I just got out of SpiderMan again.
Yeah. What number of times is this for you?
3.
Okay, same. It's my third time.
Yeah, well, I'm going to see it again tomorrow, so I'll have you beat.
Yes, you will. I don't think I'm going to go see it a 4th time. But I wasn't planning on seeing it a 3rd time, and then I was just like, I want to get out of the house. I want to go to the
I wasn't
theaters.
planning on seeing it a 4th time. Tomorrow was going to be my 3rd time, and then we went today.
Yeah. I last minute sprung it on you. Last night, I'm like, dude, let's go. And you said, I'm tired. Let's go tomorrow. So that's what we did.
Yeah, but my sister hasn't seen it yet.
Which is amazing to me. I cannot believe that.
Well, she's had no one to go with. My parents have no interest in seeing it. And
really? I thought your parents saw the Marvel movies.
No.
Okay.
My dad thinks they are the dumbest shit on the planet.
Your dad's wrong.
Yeah, he is wrong. My dad doesn't like good movies. Like there are some good movies that he likes, but there's movies that I think are just phenomenal. And outside the superhero genre, because I don't even talk to him about those. But there's movies that I think are phenomenal, and he's like, no, not for me.
Just not into it.
Yeah, my dad doesn't like The Office. Thinks it's the dumbest shit on the planet.
Oh man, The Office is so good.
But he loves Friends, so like I don't get it.
I'm trying to think. I know somebody who has. Wait, is it your wife that won't watch The Office?
No, my wife has seen The Office more times than I've seen The Office.
Okay, there's somebody I know that like they just refuse to watch The Office.
Before I met you and my wife, I was like, The Office is dumb. And then my wife like religiously watches it, that and Friends. I thought both of those shows were dumb. And just by osmosis, I guess, like I just started watching episodes. I was like, you know what? This is pretty funny. So I started it from the beginning. Yeah,
The Office is great. Scrubs and The Office, those are our go-tos. And then Parks and Rec is probably number 3 in our home. That we're just like, we don't have anything new to watch. Let's just put something on. You know,
Parks and Rec is good. I don't know. I don't know if I put it on the same tier as The Office.
Like I said, it's under, but only barely. Ron Swanson, man, he's my spirit animal.
See, and he's not even my favorite part of that show. It's Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt's really funny too.
And honestly, like I think the bloopers are funnier than the show. I don't know if you've seen Parks and Rec bloopers.
Yeah, I have.
Especially ones with Chris Pratt. They are fucking hilarious.
Yeah, there was one.
He talks about comebacks.
Yep. When he talks about comebacks, that's the one I was thinking of. That's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, comeback stories. Kim Kardashian. Wait, what? Well, in the video, there was, cum.
I'm pretty sure she got cum on her back. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's freaking hilarious.
But yeah, dude. So what we're talking about. You said in the beginning, Batgirl, the new costume. We're talking about Boba Fett, Peacemaker,
And
Microsoft,
more.
and more.
Yeah, and I speaking of Microsoft, I just right before I went to the movie with you, I upgraded to Windows 11. It's weird.
Yep.
It's not bad. It's just different. And I'm
Wait,
like,
they give you free upgrades now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they give you a free upgrade. They give you a free upgrade from Windows 8 to Windows 10 as well, if I recall.
It wasn't like that when I was a kid.
No, it didn't used to be, but in more recent years,
they took a note from the Apple book, because Apple's been doing OS upgrades for free since the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have bought Windows 11. Windows 10 was working fine for me, and I could have got Windows 11 months ago, but I didn't want to, just because like it was new and I didn't really want to be a beta tester for it. And it's been out enough that I'm like, all right, let's jump in. So
my thing is, like with my Mac, dude, and my iPhone, like every update, they change something, like something that worked perfectly. They change it into something that I'm like, why? What was the point of changing this? Like now, the way the web, the internet works on my iPhone, like the back buttons and all that stuff is like different, in like in different areas, or how you get to a new tab is different.
I hate that.
And I'm like, why? Why?
That.
It worked fine. It worked fine. Why are you changing
innovation? That's what they say. We're innovating. Well, it's annoying. Stop innovating.
They say it's for like productivity, and I'm like, I feel like I did things way faster than I'm doing them now.
Right?
You know?
Yeah.
But
I agree. I don't know.
Hey, if you're watching the podcast, make sure to comment and say hello.
Yeah, please. Well, let's get into some geek news. Geek news. Hell yeah. Right?
Geek news, geek news.
First on the docket, we got to talk about the Moon Knight trailer, right? And it's a bummer that Matt is still on paternity leave, because I know he knows more about this character than either you or I do. But
what up, Patrick?
But I'm excited about it, and based on what
it
little
looks
I know,
awesome.
Based on what little I do know about the character, I'm like super confused. I'm like, wait, what is going on here?
So basically, Oscar Isaac's character has like a bipolar, like not bipolar, like multiple personality disorder thing. And his powers come from like some Egyptian temple or something. That's all I remember. And I know the one thing I did notice when I was watching the trailer is he's more like, his suit is like gray, and in the comics it's white. Mm-hmm. So that caught me off. But he's basically Marvel's version of like Batman.
Yeah, and that's what I've heard him described as, and he doesn't. I thought he didn't have like powers really. He's just good at combat and stuff like that. But
well, we know he has something, because we see the suit kind of engulf him in the trailer, right? So I mean, he has some ability.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I think it looks intriguing. It looks interesting. I think his voice sounds weird. I was really surprised. Like, wait, what's going on? Why are you doing this high voice?
It's very polished. Like, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it seems very sophisticated. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it seems like a child almost, but very like proper.
Very naive. Yeah, he seems really naive.
But my question is, like, if you see an image of Taskmaster, right, from the comics, and then you see Moon Knight's suit, like, Moon Knight's suit is a bit closer to the comics than what Taskmaster was. I just don't understand. Like, and they're pretty similar, the two. This one's more of a mummified look, right? But the hood, like the cowl and all that stuff, I don't understand why they felt the need to change Taskmaster's suit so much, but keep Moon Knight pretty similar to what it is in the comics. Like, I don't know.
For decision making?
Like, I'm gonna share my screen real quick, Matt.
Okay.
Or Max. Let me see here. Share screen. Like, so if you look at what he looks like in the show compared to what he looks like in the comic, like, it's pretty close.
Yeah, it is.
You know, he looks like I said, he looks a bit more like a mummified version, and we kind of see that. You know, we saw he goes to Egypt and all this stuff, so we get the mummy connection, right? And we kind of see when he's getting his suit put on him, it kind of engulfs him like with strands, or I don't know how you would call that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like, and if you look at Taskmaster from Marvel,
Moon, Sailor Moon Knight.
If you look at Taskmaster from the comics, I mean, not much different.
Yeah, I mean, there's similar vibes to it for sure. I don't know why they didn't do that.
This just looks bad.
Yeah, the Captain or the Black Widow version does look bad. I agree. Everyone agrees. Well, I think everyone agrees. I haven't seen anyone that thinks otherwise. But yeah, they do Taskmaster in the SpiderMan game. They did him in Marvel's Avengers game. Like, of course, in the comics, like he looks really cool in all of those iterations. And then the movie, not so much. But Moon Knight, like, isn't a character that I've had much exposure to, really at all. Like, none of the games.
No, he's not a huge character. But it is their. They're getting more into this darker. Here, I'll take this off. They're getting more into this darker realm, and we'll see it with Doctor Strange, right? They're getting more into the dark side of the Marvel characters, and Moon Knight. I mean, you got Moon Knight, you got Ghost Rider, like those are going to be prime properties for this darker entry that they're going into, the kind of the mystical type. Well,
mystical, but also like the street level, right? I mean, it feels like they're trying.
But you got like street level, like Daredevil, Luke Cage, like all the Netflix characters we saw. This has more of a mystical element, I think, than those.
Yeah. Yes, but I don't know. I don't even want to say too much. I will just sound like an idiot. I don't know enough about Moon Knight to like say a lot. I think the trailer looks interesting. I'm glad we finally have a release date. I had a feeling Moon Knight was going to be the first one that we got this year, and now it's confirmed. March 30th.
I'm excited for She-Hulk, dude. I think She-Hulk has the potential to be really weird, judging by what we saw in the trailers, and really fun.
Yeah, I agree, and I love that actress Tatiana, whatever her name is. She's really great. So,
she's good. She wasn't my pick for the character, but
I know. But she was really good. Like I loved her, and I still haven't finished that show, but I think it's on Amazon.
Orphan Black.
Orphan Black, that's the one.
So if you like her, you should watch Perry Mason on HBO. Because she plays like a religious zealot that thinks that she's like the second coming of Christ. And Perry Mason's a really good, like, gritty show. But she does a really good job on that. I mean, she's not bad. I mean, she just wasn't my first pick.
Yeah,
she kind of came out of nowhere. Like, all the casting rumors that we heard, and then they announced her. It was like, it kind of came out of nowhere, I feel like.
It wasn't expected, for sure.
Like, for years, Alison Brie was, like, attached to the... rumored to be accepting a role into the Marvel Universe. And I love Alison Brie. If you're a fan of Community, how can you not love Alison Brie?
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, but I don't know. What's next?
What's next is something that like shocked me like crazy this week. Xbox.
Not really me. Is that weird?
A little bit. Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard. Like, why weren't you shocked by this?
Okay, so I guess I was shocked by who they purchased, but I was expecting some big acquisition because Xbox has kind of been, as far as in the realm of exclusives, Xbox has kind of been beaten down by PlayStation, right? PlayStation kind of has the corner market on exclusives, right? They got God of War, they got Last of Us, they got Uncharted, they got just amazing games that they're getting exclusive. It's part of the reason why I bought a PS5 before I bought the Xbox, right? I was expecting Microsoft to make a big wave, and there's, I know you put it on our notes. There's a rumor that it's going to be that they're going to keep it cross-platform, but this just it brings a lot of talent into where they can start developing some. I guarantee there's going to be some Activision exclusives for Xbox. Maybe not big games like Call of Duty, although if Microsoft really wanted to piss off a ton of people, and get people buying their system, they'd make Call of Duty a exclusive.
Sorry, they might. So. Who knows what they're gonna do? So, Sony has been getting marketing deals with Call of Duty for a while, and I'm sure that they still have marketing deals, for several years. So I don't think Call of Duty is leaving PlayStation anytime soon. I'm sure for the next.
Well, I think they had like
years,
a 5 or 10 year contract or something like that. Like it's going to be there for a while, but whether or not those contracts get what's the word I'm looking for?
Re-upped, renewed.
Renewed, yes, renewed. That's a whole nother question.
Yeah, and I don't know how long those contracts are. I don't know if 5 to 10 years is correct, but like Phil Spencer, CEO of gaming, is what his new title is now, or CEO of Xbox, something like that. Anyway, he was just saying that they have the intention to honor any existing contracts, and they have a desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation or something like that. Now,
they'd be dumb not to, but also they'd be smart to
exactly, and that's why I'm like, I think Call of Duty will stay for a while, but I think when the contracts are up, it might go exclusive. But here's what I really want to see happen: Call of Duty comes out every single year. I'm not a big Call of Duty guy. Like, I enjoy the campaigns. I have played nearly every Call of Duty campaign, like Black Ops 2 and this one. The most recent one, Vanguard, I think, are the only two, maybe the original Call of Duty. But like, I've played pretty much every Call of Duty campaign. I enjoy them. I think they're a lot of fun. But
I'm trying to find a list of their IP. Like,
it's pretty much on the screen right now. Like, they have more IP than what's on the screen. But Overwatch, Diablo, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Candy Crush, StarCraft, Tony Hawk. Those are Activision IP.
Here's a big one. Okay. One that's exclusive to Sony, which I think it's a joint thing with Naughty Dog, but they own Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
And that was for years. That was Sony's, like, that was Mario to Nintendo. Crash Bandicoot was to Sony.
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot, I think, has been on Xbox for a while, though. Maybe I'm wrong.
The new ones are on Xbox?
I think so, but I don't know. I don't play those. I don't play that series. I'm not really into platformers.
Well, in the Uncharted 4, you get to play Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, that's true.
In the game.
Yeah. That's actually the most Crash Bandicoot I've played, is what you play in Uncharted 4. So anyway, the point I was trying to make is that Call of Duty comes out every year. I feel like it's way oversaturated, and I think it's time to give it a break. I don't know if they will, because it's cash cow, and that's probably a huge part of why they're buying Activision Blizzard to begin with. But I would love it if one of these studios, maybe, which one would it be? Sledgehammer Games or something. Like, maybe one of the 3 studios that works on Call of Duty, put them on a new IP or something, or like, give us something original. Like, there hasn't been a new IP at Activision since Overwatch, which came out in 2015. And I can't remember the last new IP before that. Like, they just don't release new ideas, really. And
I'd like to get somebody new on, like, now that they've got these things, I'd like to see them get somebody new on the Halo series.
I mean, 343 did a great job on Halo Infinite, but that's a good point, though. Like, these guys are great with gunplay. Like, say what you want about Call of Duty, it usually feels really good to, like, shoot a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they can help with Halo's combat once they get brought into the fold. Maybe that's something that they will do. I don't know.
So I was just looking at some of the other companies that are under the Activision Blizzard title. So they have Treyarch, and Infinity Ward, which is Call of Duty, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Treyarch makes the Black Ops games. Infinity Ward makes the Modern Warfare games. And then Sledgehammer isn't really known for... They make Call of Duty as well, but they aren't, like, associated with a franchise of games within Call of Duty.
Well, with Call of Duty, yeah. They're with Tony Hawk, though, right?
I don't think Sledgehammer made Tony Hawk. That was High Moon Studios, I think.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Treyarch. Sorry, I got confused. That was Neversoft, which Neversoft got merged into something else, I think.
Yeah, I thought High Moon did the remaster, though. That's my understanding.
Oh, so they own Destiny, too.
No,
now?
not anymore.
Huh?
Nope. No, they don't. That would have been cool. Well, I don't know if it would have been cool. So I think it was 2, maybe 3 years ago that Activision let Bungie break off. So Bungie is an independent studio. They are not owned by Activision.
Oh, that sucks for Microsoft. It would be cool to bring Bungie back into the fold, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I wonder how that would have gone. Because Bungie really has wanted to be independent for a long time, and I think they're better off that way. So Kyle's in the chat saying that he's turning 17 on Monday. That's crazy, buddy. 17.
Oh.
Getting
old, man. Your balls drop yet?
I don't know. So like, it's weird because this is a huge acquisition. It cost Microsoft, like they're planning on spending $68.7 billion on this. So like nearly $70 billion. And Bethesda that they bought like in 2020 and then finalized last year was like $7.5 billion. So it's like what, 100 times more expensive?
And Bethesda,
crazy.
Like Call of Duty's huge. Like even when their games suck, people buy those games, right? And Overwatch is pretty big too, right? But Kyle says his balls haven't dropped yet.
That's crazy, buddy. See a doctor.
Bethesda makes what? Help me out here.
Bethesda makes the Elder Scrolls games. So Skyrim, Doom is under the Bethesda umbrella. Wolfenstein, Far Cry, not Far Cry, that's Ubisoft. What was I just thinking of? Not Far Cry. Fallout, that's the one I was thinking of.
Oh, Fallout's huge.
Yeah. Bethesda was a huge acquisition. That was huge. Like when that was purchased, that was cool. And that's what the point I was getting at is this is like 100 times more expensive than Bethesda, but I am way more interested in the Bethesda acquisition than I am in this. Like, I don't play really any Blizzard games. Like, my brother has tried to get me to play World of Warcraft. Like, he wants me to play so badly, he'll pay my subscription. I don't
There's
like
a subscription?
Yeah, there's a subscription for World of Warcraft. It's like 15 a month, maybe 10 a month or something like that.
Was it like that forever?
Yeah, it's been like that for like ever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I mean, World of Warcraft, it's not a bad game. It's just I'm not huge into MMOs, and it's old. Like the combat's really outdated. And I did enjoy StarCraft back in the day, but I don't think they've released a new StarCraft game in like 20 years. It's been a long time.
StarCraft was the one where you build like colonies, right?
Yeah, it was World of Warcraft in space, or it was Warcraft in space.
So is that like Ages of Empire?
Yeah.
Is it the same kind of... Okay, so that's what I played when I was a kid.
Yeah, that like top-down strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Diablo's another one of their franchises. I've never really been into
What's up, Kyle?
Overwatch is a fun little game. Like I like Overwatch, but I'm not like into these games. But Bethesda's got Skyrim and Doom, and I'm not really into Doom, but like Wolfenstein I am, and the Fallout series is cool, and that's a big acquisition I'm really excited about. I don't know what Activision brings to the table that Xbox didn't already have. So I'm not like, it's a weird acquisition.
They have plans. Microsoft's not dumb, dude.
Well, no, I know. And these IP are huge. So obviously that alone, that's probably why they're buying them. But it's just Bethesda they bought so that they could be able to say, look at this. We've got these amazing RPGs and we've got even more shooters on our docket, with Doom and Wolfenstein. But this, it's like, well, you've already got Halo and Gears and Doom and Wolfenstein and they've got the Perfect Dark game that's going to be a shooter coming out. So now they own Call of Duty. Like, well,
they're coming out with Perfect Dark again.
Yeah, they're doing a reboot of Perfect Dark.
The one with the GoldenEye levels.
Yeah, it was similar to GoldenEye back in the day. What's up, Kyle? Thanks for coming in.
So the original Perfect Dark, all the levels in Perfect Dark are the GoldenEye levels.
Oh, are they?
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's all the same.
No, I did not know that.
Shot for shot the same.
They just reskinned it.
I don't know why they did that, but is it 18 to smoke weed?
I don't know. I thought it was like 21, but maybe it is 18.
I thought it was 21.
I don't know.
He probably knows. He's probably looking forward to it. So, dude, those ages went out a long time ago. Dude, I turned 37 in a month and a half, dude. Right, Max? Month and a half?
Yes.
Yeah. I turned 37, so I have no idea what the legal age for anything is.
I know, right? Like we're too old now because drinking age is 10, 15 years ago. And even like the next milestone after drinking age is I can rent a car. I think that's 25, and we're well past that. So
I didn't even care about that. My next,
you know what we're looking
my
forward
next
to
milestone is retirement.
I was going to say early bird discounts and like 59 or whatever it is, the 55 plus Denny's menu. That's next on the docket.
So Kyle, the other Kyle. Okay, we have Quantum and we have Kyle. Okay, let's just set this record straight. Quantum and Kyle. So Kyle says I'm old. Pretty sure Kyle's older than me.
Yes, he is.
Like Kyle has teenagers living in his home. Pretty sure. Okay, so one final thing to say about this. Do not be surprised if there is another acquisition on the horizon.
Yeah, you think they'll do another one? Another big one though?
Probably not 70 billion, but 10 billion? Yeah. I mean,
I could see them acquiring something else, but I don't even know that. Like, I feel like as far as big acquisitions go, Kermit's my Funko buddy. He's on the podcast.
Hey,
what's up, Kermit? But like, I don't know that they could get away with another big acquisition. I feel like that would get blocked, like by government regulations.
It depends.
If they were to buy EA after this, or Ubisoft or something, like, I don't know.
Well, there was a rumor that Microsoft was gunning for EA a few years ago, weren't they? I think that would be bigger than this. EA?
I think maybe. I'd probably
EA owns all the sports contracts.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't EA make Madden?
Yeah, EA does Madden.
Madden's huge. Madden's like.
So that's the thing. So that's what I was going to say about this acquisition. I don't even feel like this acquisition is for.
Kyle says his kids are older than Quantum.
Yeah. So this acquisition is interesting to me because like I'm not super interested in a lot of these games, and I know that like some hardcore gamers are, but like Call of Duty is the game that non-gamers play. Like people that wouldn't really call themselves gamers, they might buy that every year, just like they buy Madden.
Madden is the game that non-gamers play.
Yes, Madden and Call of Duty, I think both. Those are both in that
but I think Madden even more so. Like I think there's people
Madden and FIFA, depending on where you live in the world, yeah.
Yeah, and doesn't EA make FIFA?
They do. FIFA outsells Madden every single year because more people
play
global. Soccer. Yeah.
And it's global. Like Madden is not a global thing. Like FIFA definitely is. EA might cost more than this.
Maybe.
Because, dude, they also make Need for Speed, right? That's a pretty big franchise. I mean, not as big as it was. I'm pretty sure it's EA.
I think you're right.
Electronic Arts, right? Is what it is.
And they also own Respawn, who made Jedi Fallen Order and the Titanfall games and Apex Legends. So yeah, EA has a bunch of big studios as well. Mass Effect is under EA. So BioWare, and Dragon Age. I would have been much more excited about an EA acquisition than Activision. But I don't think they could get away with it. I don't think they could buy EA and Activision. But maybe
I don't know, man. I don't know. They own Rock Band, Sims, Madden. All the sports games.
With Activision, Xbox now owns Guitar Hero. Not that that's going to come back.
Dude.
Well, let's move on to a new topic.
If they did buy it, they've got to make another NBA Jam. NBA Jam
if they
was
bought
the
EA?
shit. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
NBA Jam was awesome. Tetris.
Nice. Well, let's
move
on into a review. Let's talk about the latest episode of the Book of Boba Fett. And our little intro, I said we were going to talk about how bad the show sucks. This episode was not as bad as episode 3 in my book, but it still wasn't like amazing. What did you think about it, Lance?
I disagree. I don't think it was that good.
No, I said it was better than the 3rd episode, and that wasn't a good episode.
What happened in the 3rd episode?
That was when they had the speeder bikes that looked like Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, this one was better. Because this one has Black Chewbacca. I always forget his name.
Yeah,
where he rips off some dude's arm. That was pretty awesome. But the only, like, besides that, like, that violent scene was pretty cool. The only thing that this episode did, and we don't even know if it did it, is by the end of, oh good, you had the spoiler warning up. By the end of the episode, the butler drone droid comes in and says, "Oh, congratulations, Master, you're fully healed," which means,
hopefully,
deductive reasoning.
Flashbacks
That should be
are
the
over.
last we see him in the water tank. No, I do not want any more flashbacks, man. Like, this show is hard to follow sometimes with the amount of flashback. It reminds me of Arrow. Like, flashbacks just to have flashbacks.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of flashbacks, but I don't know. Arrow was like, that was just built into the show, like it was meant to be like that,
It was cool,
and
like the first and second season, and then it just got really old.
It did start to get old.
Yeah, like they go back to the island, and then oh my gosh, dude. I'm like, okay, we get it. He was on an island. Can we move on, please? We get that Boba Fett was in the desert for 100 years. Can we move on?
Yeah. I mean, I think the flashbacks are over because they finally caught up to Mando season 2. Like, they didn't show Mando, but they showed him getting his ship, and then,
Oh yeah, and killing the whatever the guy was, the other king or whatever. What do they call it?
Yeah.
Data or Dota?
Daimyo.
What do they call it? Daimyo.
Yeah, this show is not very exciting. I'm really hoping the next 2 episodes are better.
Is there only 2 left?
I think so. I think there's only 6 episodes.
Don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath, bro.
I
texted you. I watched it the first time, and you had watched it too.
Oh no, I think there's 8 episodes. Let me double check.
And then I said, Max, I'm gonna watch it again to figure out if I like this show or not, because I cannot put my finger on it. I watched it again, and I said, "Oh, that was a waste of time."
All right, so there's 7 episodes. So we've got 3 left. I don't know. I watched this episode while I was working because I'm just like, I don't even care to like fully pay attention anymore. I really want it to get better.
I just think like they're having like great success with the Marvel universe in general, right? Because there's such a collective wealth of characters, right, in the Marvel universe, that they're trying that same structure in the Star Wars universe, and there's some things that we just don't need to see, right? And I think it's because the Star Wars universe compared to the Marvel universe, these characters are so beloved, right? When Iron Man came out, like like regular people didn't know who Iron Man really was, right? Like, didn't know who Captain America really was, didn't know who Thor really was. Like, there wasn't this like history.
Probably,
yeah, there wasn't this history attached to it. Now they're the biggest characters in the world, right? Like, everybody knows who Iron Man is, everybody knows Captain America. But with Star Wars, like, Boba Fett is cherished, Han Solo is cherished, like, all these characters are cherished. It's no secret that the one movie they did, Rogue One, which featured a bunch of characters that nobody really knew, is the best one that Disney's come out with since they purchased Star Wars. Like, I would say Rogue One is better than Mandalorian, and Mandalorian's great, and Mandalorian has the same thing going for it that Rogue One does, where nobody knew these characters, really.
They're bringing in known characters, but it's not the focus. The focus is on a new character. I agree. I totally agree with you that's why Mando is better. I think there's like, the problem with Boba Fett is there are, 50 years almost of expectations around this character that we knew nothing about, really, because he had like 5 lines in the whole trilogy. I mean, we knew some because he's in the Clone Wars cartoon and he's a little bitch. I hate him in that show. He's so annoying. But like, you don't know a lot about Boba Fett, and so now they're letting us get to know him, and most people are like, this isn't what I imagined in my head all these years. Plus, there were some non-canon books about him that he's more stoic and he's way more bad-a, and they're not.
He talks a little bit too much. Like, I feel like Mandalorian, the Mandalorian is closer to the character of Boba Fett than Boba Fett is now.
Oh yeah, Mando's way more like what people expected Boba Fett to be. Boba Fett and like Han Solo were supposed to be like rivals because they're actually very similar. And Han Solo isn't like one. I mean, he talks his way out of things, but like, they're supposed to be these shoot first, ask questions later kind of people. And I don't know. it's not.
I don't know.
what I
They
expected.
softened his edges. Like, I'm not even that familiar with Star Wars in general, right? Like, and I even know that Boba Fett is a little soft in this show. I'm more interested in Agent May. I don't know her name in the show. I can't remember. But
Fennec.
she's Agent May. Fennec, thank you. I'm more interested in her character than I am the rest of the crap that's going on.
Yeah, she's an interesting character, and she was actually in the Bad Batch cartoon. It was fun to see her in that. Get to know her a little bit more. She's great.
But there's not all these years of expectations surrounding her, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, like, I know, and you might be opposite to this, but I know Tyler, who's a big Star Wars fan, when Ahsoka Tano, did I say it right?
Ahsoka Tano.
Ahsoka Tano. Dude, I'm getting closer every time.
You're getting better.
When she came out, he was like, no, I don't like this. When she
Yeah,
came out, Mando.
I liked it, but I understand Tyler. A lot of Tyler's complaints were like from what I remember, were that she didn't fight quite the same as she did in the Clone Wars, and I agree. Like she was way slower and she didn't look quite right, but I understand why. Like they wanted to go for like more of a samurai style in that episode of Mando, and they also like they couldn't do as long of tentacles and have her do stunts. So like she didn't look quite right in live action.
So Tyler has a
it
problem separating cartoon from live action, essentially.
I mean, a little bit. Like at the same time, I get where he's coming from. I was a little more forgiving. I thought it was a cool episode, but I thought
it was cool, but I don't have the expectations attached to it.
Yeah, you don't.
But,
I would like to see better stunts in the future.
But Tyler has
other people's complaint in that episode of Mando was that she went up against this lady who, as far as we know, really isn't that well trained and like almost lost. When Ahsoka's like she defeated Darth Maul, so it was weird that like this person could stand up to her. But in my mind, I'm like, well, we're just trying to add tension to the episode. She had to be able to stand up to Ahsoka, otherwise that would have been boring. So it just doesn't bother me.
I really think they need. Like, I love Jon Favreau, and Jon Favreau is listed as a writer or producer or something for this, right? Because I see his name in the credits all the time.
Yeah, maybe executive producer or something.
They need to get, like, George Lucas or somebody in there just to be, like, kind of, I don't know, but maybe he can't be trusted either because he came out with the prequels and aren't really loved that much, too, right?
Well, that's what's funny. The prequels are getting so much more love now.
Yeah.
Like, now that the sequels
hindsight.
are out, the people are like, oh, the sequels suck, but the prequels are great. I'm like, bro, 10 years ago, you said the sequels were garbage.
The prequels were garbage.
Yeah. I've always liked the prequels, so I don't feel as uncomfortable, saying good things about them. But, I've always enjoyed Revenge of the Sith. Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones are kind of bad movies, but I still like watching them. They're Star Wars. They're fun to watch.
See, and I get a lot of hate because I'm not a Star Wars fan. I think Jar Jar's hilarious.
Jar Jar's awful. Can I boot you?
Don't boot me.
I'm
You're
not
the only
gonna
one
boot you.
on here.
Let's move on though. We're being real negative. We don't have anything
Hey,
else.
speaking of, you made a mention of Darth Maul. Isn't there a Darth Maul show coming out?
Not
Or something with Darth Maul?
Not that I'm aware of. He was in the Han Solo movie at the very end, but I don't know that he's.
I thought they were teasing something going on with Darth Maul, but maybe not.
I don't know. All right. We got to talk.
Oh, is it a
this.
game? Is it a game?
Not that I'm aware of. So moving on to our next topic, we're going to talk a little bit about DC for a bit. Actually, the rest of the show is DC. I just realized because we're reviewing Peacemaker.
Darth Maul is reportedly being developed by Disney Plus. This was on June 3rd.
Oh.
I knew I read something about it. Okay, continue. Sorry.
I don't care to see that. Anyway, let's move on. I love Darth Maul, but I'm like, I feel like we've seen enough of him. I think it's okay to take a break from Darth Maul. So the Batman is supposedly going to be like 2 hours and 55 minutes.
It's long. Is that with credits?
With
Are they
credits.
considering? So that includes credits, and credits are what? Usually about 10 minutes?
Yeah, so it's 2 hours and like 45 minutes, 2 hours and 40 minutes, depending on how long credits are.
How long was SpiderMan?
I can't remember the runtime, but it's close to 3 hours as well. I think it's probably 2 hours and 45 minutes with credits. But like this isn't confirmed. There's like an IMAX that listed it as 2 hours and 55 minutes, and then there's another place that listed it as like 2 hours and 47 minutes or something like that. So it's like it could be. We don't know.
It's over the 2.5 hour mark. We can pretty
Probably.
can pretty much say that it's over the 2.5 hour mark. I don't know. It depends. Like, that's impossible to say, man. Like, remember when they came out, Endgame was 3 hours long? I was like, what the fuck are they going to do for 3 hours?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was great. But I remember the whole thing was like, oh, don't bring in any soda or anything, like, because it's a long movie. Like, people were kind of bitching about it.
Yeah.
You know, now we've kind of gotten used to 3 hour movies. I don't know.
We have, but No Way Home was 2 hours and 28 minutes. I don't know why I thought it was like 3 hours. That's not really.
And No Way Home feels long.
I don't think so. I think it feels great.
No, I'm not saying that's bad. Like, it just feels long. Like, there's so much happening. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I love long movies. It's just always something I've really enjoyed.
It just
like
depends.
Carnage is 90 minutes, and I'm like, the movie.
Oh,
sucked,
I remember.
So I wasn't that mad, but I'm like, the movie's over. What the heck?
I remember when you and I went and saw it. I was like, dude, is that it? Like, there was nothing. Like, no tease for Morbius. There was no like.
Yeah, well, you could tell. You can tell when a movie's wrapping up, and so like we were getting into the third act, and I'm like,
yeah,
this is already the third act. What the heck? Like, it was weird.
That movie's hot garbage, dude.
Yeah, but anyway, I like this idea. I'm down to see a long Batman movie so long as it's good.
Yeah, that's really the kicker, right? Like, if they fill it with again a bunch of like, you know, shit we've seen before, that they, you know, because I would say that's the primary beef. Well, no, let me reorganize my thoughts. In Batman versus Superman, they showed all the prehistory to Batman in the opening credits, right? Mm-hmm. And then you don't talk about it anymore. Like, it doesn't focus a lot of time on it, which I loved. Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man trilogy, they don't even get into the Ben Parker stuff, and I think that's intentional. Like, I think we're going to find out about Ben Parker later.
Yeah.
But they don't even get into that. You have Spider-Man, right? No spider bite. There's nothing. He references that stuff, but
yeah.
You know, if I have to watch another Batman movie where I see his parents die again and him go into training mode and why?
I don't think we're going to, or if we do, it's going to be brief, because my understanding is this is like year
3 hours does not tell me it's going to be brief.
Well, I mean, the explanation of how he became Batman is going to be brief, because my understanding is that this is like a year into his career, or maybe even less, but I don't know. It's not like, I don't think it's supposed to be an origin. It's supposed to be this is early on Batman. That's why his Batmobile isn't like a tank and like super cool, and that's why his armor maybe doesn't look quite as good as maybe you've seen in other movies.
I think it looks badass.
Really cool. I think it looks great. Yeah. I don't know.
That's all I'm saying. Like, I hope that you're right about the intro stuff being brief, but a nearly 3 hour movie tells me don't hold your breath. But right. I hope I'm wrong, because the trailer looks awesome. Like, I haven't been this excited for a Batman movie in a very long time. You know, since The Dark Knight Rises, probably, which was I don't want to say let down. It just wasn't as good as The Dark Knight. You know?
Yeah, it wasn't. I really enjoyed The Dark Knight Rises, but you're right.
The Dark Knight's a better movie. Like, it tapers off, right? Yeah. And they did some things in The Dark Knight Rises that you're just like, what? Why? Like, Robin is not Robin, and Bane was kind of not Bane. Not the Bane I know, at least. But you know, it's been a while since I've been excited for a Batman movie to come out, and I was one of the naysayers on this movie when they announced Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne. I said that movie's gonna blow, you know. But the trailer looks cool.
You're talking, and it got me realizing we've had a lot of Batman recently, obviously, with Titans and Batman v Superman and Justice League and the Snyder Cut of Justice League, but we haven't had a true solo Batman movie in now 10 years, as of this year. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I guess that's not, like, because I kept thinking, man, we are oversaturated with Batman, and I'll still say we are, but it has been 10 years since The Dark Knight Rises. That's It's a chunk of time.
I would say Spider-Man is getting up there, but Spider-Man's like,
he's so good.
It's had like even if you just remove the Amazing Spider-Man 2, which many people agree is not that great of a movie, right? Every other movie in Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire isn't that bad once you watch it all these years later, right?
Yes, it is. It's so bad.
It's bad. Like,
It's
I'm not trying to say
unwatchable.
See, I feel that way about the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'd much rather watch Spider-Man 3 than the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and there's some dumb parts in Spider-Man 3, but we haven't had like these long periods of just mediocre, mediocre Spider-Man films, right? And you could almost put Spider-Man and Batman in like that same boat. Like, they've been recreated so many times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, my one reservation about this movie is I want to see all these heroes together, and this movie kind of tells you that's not going to happen, right? I want to see Batman and Superman and the Justice League. Like, I want that. But they're going back to their old roots, I guess.
I agree. I want to see the Justice League as well, but you never know, dude. You never know. Like, they could multiverse this crap and merge universes, or they could start over with a brand new Justice League if Robert Pattinson's movie, like, if it makes like $750 million or something, there might be some, all right, let's build a universe around this.
If it doesn't make that kind of money, I don't think we'll see another Batman movie for a while.
Well, if it tanks, yeah, probably not.
I mean, we'll get the Batman and the Flash, right?
Yeah, we know that.
A Batman solo movie, it'll be a long time.
Yeah.
I hope it does well, and I hope it's good. I have a lot of faith in Matt Reeves. The Planet of the Apes trilogy is phenomenal. One of my favorite film trilogies, like, ever. Like, Planet of the Apes is damn good.
And
if you haven't seen it, you need to go watch it right now.
That last movie is so good. It's so good.
It's just all three are good, but the last one is just phenomenal. But
yeah.
So I have a lot of faith in Matt Reeves. We'll see.
Yeah.
Comes out March 4th, this one?
Yep, March 4th. And then Keaton some series, please. Keaton solo series. I don't know if he wants to do that, man. I don't know that I want to see that unless it's like a Batman Beyond.
I want to see Batman Beyond. I want to see Terry McGinnis in the black and red suit with old man Bruce. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, if Michael Keaton was old man Bruce in that scenario, yeah,
dude, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Or even a show on HBO Max. Like, why is that not a property that they're tackling? I don't get it.
Well, they might be tackling it, and we just don't know it.
But I want it dark, like Peacemaker. Not so like, but I want that darkness, like Peacemaker.
Really, I would expect Terry McGinnis, Batman Beyond, to be a little bit brighter.
I don't want it to be a kid show.
So
why Terry McGinnis? Is that what you're asking, Sticks?
Yeah, that's literally what he asked.
I just think that story is awesome with old man Bruce. Like that, it might be my affinity for the Batman animated series, and Batman Beyond kind of seems like that continuation of that show.
Spin-off, yeah.
And that might be why I like it. I don't know. And it may be Will Friedle, who does the voice of Terry McGinnis, that I love so much. I'm not that familiar with the comic book, but I just remember that show being really just kind of inventive and stuff, and seeing Bruce in a different light than what we've seen him like 50 million times over. Kind of this grumpy old man that has to like tutor. I don't know. It's just different. It's a different spin.
I've said it many times before that I just
Terry McGinnis is the character.
Yeah, Terry McGinnis is the character.
Right? Am I getting that name right?
Maybe we're getting the last name wrong. Now we're both going to Google, right? Batman Beyond.
Yeah, I'm pulling from. No, it's Terry McGinnis.
Okay, I thought you were right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I think it'd be really cool to see a Batman Beyond series. I'm a big proponent for let's get the other versions of these characters. You know, we saw Spider-Man again today, and there's that line in there where Electro's like, I really wish there was a black Spider-Man out there. Let's get Miles.
Red?
Let's do it. It's just spam, Lance. It's fine. I'll boot him.
Is it?
Yes, definitely. All right, let's talk about Batgirl. Literally last Friday, I think right before we went on air, they released an image of the HBO Max movie coming out with Leslie Jones.
Oh, this is a movie?
Mm-hmm.
And her suit looks like that?
Yeah, you don't like it?
No.
I like it.
It looks like CW.
It's supposed to be coming out. Leslie Grace is her name. Okay. I said Leslie Jones. But
that looks like a CW suit. We just saw Batman with Robert Pattinson. His suit looks so badass. And then we see this?
His suit does look much better than this.
I had no idea this was a movie. I thought it was a CW show or something akin to that.
No, it's an HBO Max movie. And
that suit looks stupid then.
It's supposedly coming out this year.
Nope.
Supposedly.
I do like that she has the red hair. That's cool.
I like the red hair.
Not red like Batwoman has the red hair, but like the brunette. Like,
yeah, I think it looks like I think it's a cool costume. To me, it looks like it's homemade, and I think that's cool because, you know, she's probably not pulling off of Bruce's resources necessarily, and she's making it on her own. It looks like something that's homemade. I would hope that we get an evolution of it. Like, there's some other cool, you know, Batgirl costumes. I mean, shoot, let's just go to Google and put Batgirl in there. Oh, here we go. I already found one. I'm gonna share my screen here really quick because here we go. Batgirl, this costume. I love this one. Here, this might be a little bit bigger. That's a little bit bigger image of it. I think that's a really cool Batgirl costume, and I think that this is pulling vibes from it. The one that's going to be in the movie, but I think the color of this Batgirl costume, where she's got the cell phone and everything, is a little bit better looking. But I don't think you're going to get something like this one here, the real boobalicious, like just like
that's deviant art. That's a fan.
Yeah, I know.
Fan did that.
But I don't know. I mean, you look at this animated art right here. I mean,
that looks better than the thing you just showed me. The thing looks way too padded and like biker, like motorcycle jacket.
Yeah, but the styles are similar. I don't know. I like it. I think it's kind of cool.
To me, it does not scream movie quality. When you think about.
I'll be honest. I saw it and I thought it was for a TV show. I will acknowledge that. It is.
When I looked up this logo, I typed Batgirl TV show. Just judging by the picture, I thought it was a CW show.
Yeah, it's not. It's a movie.
I believe you. I'm just saying that the image made me think otherwise, and that's not a good thing. You know, it looks like a Stephen Amell's suit. Like it's in the same vein.
Yeah, I get it. I like it overall. It's not perfect. I'm hoping that they get something a little bit better throughout the movie, but that's maybe wishful thinking on my part. And it says 2022. I don't think that's
homemade. Like, I was just looking at an enlarged picture of this, and like the helmet. Like, how would you make that at home? I don't know.
I mean, looks like it's just spandex.
Let's just be grateful that she doesn't look like Alicia Silverstone's Batgirl, who has a little bit too much extenuation on the breasticles.
Well, and she just looks silly, but everyone in that movie looked silly.
Look at this. Her face right here makes it look like she doesn't even want to be there.
She looks dumb. And the fact that she doesn't have the bat mask and the cowl and all that, like, no. Alicia Silverstone's Batgirl is not.
But look at like the threading on this suit and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like how cheap that looks. Like the picture you just showed me reminds me of the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, should we get into Peacemaker?
Yes, that's what I'm excited to talk about. Let me remove this. Oh, you did it. Sorry.
You're good.
Go ahead.
Well, before we do, reminder to support your local comic book store.
Yeah, do it. Do it now. Spend lots of money there.
We don't have top 5 comics because Matt's not here, but we always like to put that reminder out there. All right, let's talk about
CW. I just want to address the comment that Styx just said.
What did Styx say?
CW has an excellent ability. Well, not so much lately. They've had a really good ability of introducing a character with a great first season, right? The Flash season 1 was great. Arrow season 1 was great. Legends of Tomorrow, even season 1 was great. They've gone downhill. Like Batwoman is not a good show, and it's never been a good show. What are some other ones that they've come out with? Supergirl was kind of dumb from the get-go.
Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, Flash.
Girl season 1 or Legends of Tomorrow season 1 is awesome.
Batwoman.
Yeah, I brought that one up.
I'm just done. I know you like Superman and Lois though.
Superman and Lois is awesome, but I definitely don't think they can sustain it for long. It's kind of why I wish it would just get moved. There's been a rumor that CW is up for sale. The network.
Yeah.
If that happens, then the CW would lose some of these intellectual properties from the DC universe. If they move Superman and Lois to HBO Max, I think it would be much better because HBO Max has been knocking it out of the park. Speaking, with this being Exhibit A, in my opinion, I think this is the best DC show I have ever seen, hands down. It's better than Doom Patrol. It's better than Titans, and we're only 4 episodes in, and it's been phenomenal. I think that the cast is great. There's not one person on this cast that I think has been miscast, right? And speaking of Vigilante, when they got 5 episodes in and then switched the actor, right? And reshot all his shots. So it wasn't even their first choice. And he's my favorite part of the show. And if you don't know Vigilante, he's the guy in the back with the chainsaw.
He's hilarious. And unlike other iterations of Vigilante that I've seen before, I wouldn't say this is my favorite HBO Max DC show, but it's very, very good. I think Doom Patrol season 1 is the best that we've seen so far. But
Doom Patrol season 1 is just so weird, and it's unlike anything I've seen before, right? That's what makes that show awesome. But dude, John Cena is in rare form in this show. It's like the character he was born to play, almost. You know what I mean? When I see John Cena on screen, I'm like, this guy should not be acting in movies at all, right? Then you see him as Peacemaker, and you're like, oh, well, if he does this for the rest of his life, he's set. I just don't want to see him do anything else.
So, for those asking, Chris Conrad was the original person cast to play Vigilante. And then they replaced him partway through filming with Freddie Stroma, who's now playing the character.
Stargirl was pretty good. Sticks, you're right.
Yeah, dude, this show is really funny. We got some more Eagly in this episode. Let me put that spoiler tag up. If you're listening, we're going to be spoiling episode 4.
It's funny. It's violent. It's original. It's it's adult, right? So it's a bit more adult than Doom Patrol and Titans. And there's nudity in the show for one. There's none of that in Doom Patrol or Titans. And James Gunn just has a seriously warped mind, and you can see his fingerprints in all of this.
Oh yeah, very much. And this is the first episode not directed by him, but it still has that James Gunn DNA.
I'm sure he was involved in every episode. He wrote them all, though. It says written by James Gunn.
Yeah. Which is probably why, again, it feels like James Gunn. Yeah, dude, all the characters are, like you said, they're perfectly cast. They're hilarious. Vigilante just came out of nowhere, and I'm like, wait, this character is ludicrous.
I want to see a show just with him.
Well, no, I think he's great as a supporting character.
I want to see a show of him going around just fighting crime, dude. That street level hero. Dude, I think he's hilarious.
He is hilarious. I agree.
And the fact that they had somebody else playing him is mind-boggling to me. This guy's perfect in every way. He comes on the screen and he doesn't even say anything, and I'm laughing. This entire episode, this entire the fourth episode, the entire episode, he's the whole time complaining about his pinky toe, saying he'll never walk right again. His pinky toe didn't even get cut off. It didn't even get cut off. He's like, the pinky toe's your most important one. I was laughing my ass off, dude. They have a whole conversation about, if it walks like a duck, right? Because his dad's racist, and so Vigilante's saying that John's Peacemaker is also racist. And he goes, well, if it walks like a duck. And they have a 5-minute conversation about how dumb of a phrase that is. John's Peacemaker doesn't get it. I was laughing my ass off.
That was a funny moment.
It's just so good. And then I just love everything.
Or when he
about
decides
it,
to get himself arrested, and he's like dragging that garbage can across the lawn. Like, what is he doing? What is this guy about to do? And then he throws the trash can into the freaking prison. What's up, Matt?
What's up, fellas?
The newest daddy in the group.
Yes, sir.
What's up, man? Is the baby sleeping?
She's sleeping in Aaron's arms in the living room right now. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, if she's awake, you should show her off. She's beautiful.
Next week.
Yeah, you showed some. Was it Aaron? I think shared some pictures on Facebook, and she's beautiful, man. And there's something about C-section babies that are just like all my kids were all born naturally, and they all come out with like squished heads and like swollen and stuff. C-section babies just come out so like magazine, dude, like just perfect. You know,
she's pretty special.
And you named her Logan.
Yep.
So there's some nerd background to that, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Awesome, dude. I'm so
awesome.
happy for you.
She's gorgeous.
Hey, how do you feel about the show?
Oh, dude, I love Peacemaker. I watched the first 3 episodes in the hospital. The night
On your
that
phone?
Logan was
That
born.
sucks.
Yeah. The night Logan was born. And I just watched. I've probably watched all 4 episodes now at least 3 times a piece.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best superhero shows on TV, if not the best superhero show on TV.
I was telling
Maybe not
Max
just a
this.
superhero show, even like comedy
Oh, dude. Yeah.
It's just so well done. Everything about the show is just so funny. Like the John Cena just running down hallways with his big muscular ass and jumping out of windows and stuff. And
It's amazing that like look at this man. He is so big. It's amazing what him running down the hallway. His thighs don't like start a fire. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
well, he does kind of run awkwardly, like he's got a load in his pants, and he kind of just like bumbles down the hallway. Like in the last episode when he's going to fight Judo Master, and he jumps out the window. He's just so awkward and bulky, and it's just so funny.
The superhero landing. It's on a Deadpool when he landed like on his
oh,
knees.
dude. I was just telling Matt, we went and saw SpiderMan today, and I was just telling Max, even in Peacemaker, like every time somebody lands like that, in my head I go, he's such a poser.
Yeah.
And I said it out loud, and Anna looks at me like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" Like she didn't get it.
It's either
like-
superhero landing, or such a poser. Yeah.
I think that Peacemaker is not Peacemaker, but Vigilante is a better version of Deadpool.
He's close. I don't know.
I think he's a much better version of Deadpool. He's what Deadpool is supposed to be.
Yeah,
But
I could see that.
That quip, but also very ultra violent.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, Deadpool is kind of tame. I mean, it's still rated R, and there's still like that raunchiness there, but Deadpool is tamed compared to the comics and the video game and like everything else I've ever seen with Deadpool.
Well, not
I
just
agree with
but
that.
Deadpool was never, when he first debuted, he was never that chimichanga loving, like the character you know now. He evolved into that, but he was more of a
He's quippy.
Quippy, but very ruthless too. So
I would argue the same thing with Spider-Man. Like, I mean, Spider-Man used to be way more quippy, and in these shows, he's not so much.
yeah,
Andrew Garfield did that better, the quippiness. You know.
oh dude, just the first episode of the show had me in tears.
Oh, dude.
You're gonna get salad on your helmet. You want
So-
to have a
opening
dressing
minutes,
getting off
like-
contest right now? Dude,
Dude,
Yeah.
so in this episode, he finally catches a butterfly, right? And when he's blowing pot smoke into the jar with the butterfly, I was laughing my ass off, dude, because when I used to smoke weed, we would hotbox a dog and like.
All I know is that after the first episode, if you're not screaming freedom after you're banging out your lady, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, that's like a must now.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome, dude. The one thing I could say that I notice every time, John Cena is not good acting with CGI stuff. Like, doesn't it seem unnatural when he goes up to Eagly every time? Like, you can tell.
I haven't noticed that, no.
Okay, when you watch it, just watch how he acts with Eagly. Like, they could improve that a little better. You can tell that Eagly's not there. That's the one thing I'm trying to find something negative to say about the show. Just give me this, but that's the one thing I could say.
Intro of the show too.
It's the best intro on television I've ever seen.
Dance montage at the front. Like I won't. Most things I skip. I won't skip the intro of this. I just think it's so funny. And when he picks Judo Master up at the end of the intro, that little kid looks so awkward, and John Cena's big body. It's just like, man.
Dude, I agree. When I turned the show on and started watching it, I immediately was like, okay, this is hilarious. This is great. And then that intro song comes on, and I'm just like, okay, I'm sold. This is so much better than I already thought it was going to be.
It's almost like you need that intro to set your palette for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's like
telling
that
you,
intro
don't take this
necessary.
seriously. It's not a serious show. Like it's gonna be a comedy full of violence. Like that's what it is.
Episode 3 with Judo Master is the best. What you got there? Flaming hot Cheetos? Yeah.
He starts flicking them at him.
You want some? Yeah, can I have some? He starts flicking. Yeah. Man, what do they put in Flaming Hot Cheetos?
Dude, I gotta say too, the soundtrack, and James Gunn is known for this. The soundtrack in this show is awesome. After every episode, I go download the songs on Apple Music. They're on Apple Music, and they do a 80s rock cover of Pumped Up Kicks.
Yep.
That I've listened to probably 100 times already. Like, I don't even like that song, but I like the cover. The cover is awesome. But
songs about murdering children.
If you're not watching this show, like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, this show.
I've put it on a couple times when Erin's been feeding in the living room when she's feeding Logan, and she hasn't really gotten into it. I would love for her to just sit down and watch it because I think she'd get a kick out of it. It's just so funny.
I tried to get my wife to watch it, and she goes, "No, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen."
No way.
So maybe it's guy humor. I don't know, but she was not impressed.
No,
yeah, everything about this show is like screams don't watch with your wife. Kelsey would hate this, but that's not every woman, but my wife definitely is not into this.
You choked. I didn't choke. You didn't want to goddamn dump a piece on your sniper rifle.
Dude, or when at the end of the episode he's fighting freaking Judo Master, and then the Waller girl comes up and shoots him in the chest. He's like, I was gonna win that fight.
Yeah,
that was my rematch.
Yeah.
He's all pissed off because he's like, that was my rematch.
At a bio.
What was he gonna say? What was he gonna say about the butterflies?
Yeah, John Cena. I mean, I think John Cena has awesome acting chops when it comes to comedy.
I agree.
Like he's very funny in a lot of the comedies he's in.
That's true. Blockers is pretty good.
He's good in Blockers.
He was in Bumblebee. He was funny in Bumblebee too.
Like, yeah, and he's. I mean, he's even good in. I can't think of the name of it right now. The Amy Poehler
Train Wreck.
No, well, he's good in that movie too. That's not the movie. Amy Poehler and what's her face from Saturday Night Live who plays
Tina Fey.
Yes, where they're sisters and they're
Baby Mama. No,
where they're moving out of the house and so they throw the big house party, and he plays a drug dealer in it. Sisters, thank you, Patrick. Yes.
The one where they're sisters, and you couldn't remember sisters.
Yeah, I wasn't sure that Sisters was the name of the movie, but it's still he plays a drug dealer, and he's even pretty funny in that.
All I know is that he was god awful in Fast and the Furious.
He was bad in Fast and the Furious, I agree, but he's good in comedy.
Yeah,
he's really good as a comedian.
I want to see him do this just once in Peacemaker. Just once. Just pull that out.
Oh, the hand in front of his face.
You can't see me. Yeah,
like
he talks about doing that on the Graham Norton show. It was pretty funny.
Dude, it's so funny when they unmask Vigilante and he's making all the different faces. And he's like, they can't ID me if they don't know my face. Like
They can't ID me in a lineup.
Or when
so
he's
good.
out of costume and he's talking to, I forget her name, but the Waller's daughter. She's like, "Oh, you're Vigilante," and no, I'm not.
At a
I
bio,
just sound
yeah.
like him. I just
Bio.
sound like Vigilante. I mean, it must mean that Vigilante's a man, but I'm not Vigilante.
Yeah. Dude, that part's so good when she talks him into going to get himself put in jail. He just walks up in front of all of these like prison guards sitting there eating lunch. They're not even paying attention. He just
It's like, what are you putting in this thing?
Struggles with the trash can and then fucking throws it at the window. And he's like, and then he's just like, watch my foot. Watch my foot. Sustained an injury. Like it's so, dude.
So
it's just such a good show.
Question. So in this episode, we see the White Dragon suit. Do you guys think we're going to get Robert Patrick in that suit at some point in the show?
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will.
That man needs to go down. He needs to go down. But that's the thing with him. There are racists out there, but there are very few people who are not like. There are very few people who are going to like that character. Like he is very, very hateable.
He's blatant racist. Like
Yeah,
I would
he's
say
awful.
at least most racists are kind of like try to remain somewhat incognito. This guy is just like
blatantly racist, blatantly sexist. He's just a terrible, terrible human being. That's what I'm saying.
like when those cops
everyone's rooting for him to go down.
Oh yeah, when those cops come to his doorway and the stuff he says to the woman, I was shocked. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, and that probably really happens. We're just so naive.
There are people that exist like that. It's horrible.
Yep. All I know is that I enjoy this show and watching this show much more than I do Bat the Tank Blues.
The what?
Oh, Bach the Tank Blues.
Bat the Tank Blues.
Book of Boba Fett. That's what he's
Oh. Yeah.
That's a great way to refer to it.
I was like, what show is that? Yeah, no, that's good. I think this show might be better than The Boys. And The Boys kind of is that raunchy, funny,
I think it's like
violent
better in a different way because it's got the comedy aspect on it. It doesn't take itself too seriously.
Well, The Boys is pretty dang funny.
But it's not only funny.
The Boys is funny. It's more to me like a dry funny, but the comedy is really where they're ultra violence and like how they kill people is where you get the comedy in The Boys. So it's to where Peacemaker, it's more just like
blatant.
How blatant and how just awkward this dude is and like how he just doesn't get it. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't like he's willing to kill for peace, but he just doesn't get the way the world works.
I like that it's kind of softening him a little bit too. We see some of his emotion come out in this episode where he starts thinking about murdering Rick Flag, and then there's a flashback scene with his brother, and he just kind of breaks down emotionally, and you could see, and then the fact that he doesn't want to kill kids, because in episode 3 he's tasked with killing those 2 kids that are suspected butterflies, and I like that it's showing a little bit more that he's not this just big dumb idiot killing machine. It's adding a layer to him that we didn't really get.
Yeah,
in the movie.
In the movie, he's like
he's a big dumb idiot killing machine.
Well, and he's kind of he's a villain at the end of the day.
Yeah,
and in this, he's not. And,
I mean, he flat out says, "I don't care how many women and children I have to kill, like for peace." Right?
Yeah, he says that.
Like he flat out says that, and then we see it in the 3rd episode. He's like, "Oh, he doesn't really want to kill children at all." Right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I wonder how much of this he does. How much that he does for the acceptance of his father. Like you can tell, like a lot of the stuff he does, he tries to do to get his father's acceptance, and he's not getting it. No matter what turn, like when they're talking about the helmets, he's like, "I made these before you got arrested. When they locked you up, I didn't give you a second thought." Like, and just like that whole conversation he has with Vigilante about dads, and he's like, "Well, I love my dad," and he says that's about the only thing we see eye to eye on is we don't like villains,
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of that in what he does, trying to get his father's approval. But man, one of the when he's getting in that argument with his neighbor, with his dad's neighbor in this one about Batman, and I was just like, that's so good. He's so right. How many with Batman? How many bodies are on Batman's soul because he constantly just puts these dudes in jail to break out and kill more
The
people.
Joker.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time we see the Joker, he kills hundreds of people.
And it made me look at Batman different. Like, man, we put Batman on a pedestal as like the ultimate superhero. Like, he's the ultimate, like, does things with, you know, his greatest superpower is his detective skills and his money. But at the end of the day, he's a shitty superhero.
Yeah.
He really is. Because
Superman too. I mean, Superman doesn't kill.
Yeah,
you know?
Just to break out and just murder mass amounts of more people. Like, it's so good with the way they reference other DC heroes.
Superman has the one up. Superman has the one up because on Batman, because I mean, at least he's throwing the majority of these villains in like the Phantom Zone, right?
Yeah,
where they can't really break out as much as Arkham Asylum. But you're absolutely right. I mean, Batman has a kill count that's probably higher than any other superhero in DC.
Yeah,
like just secondhand kill count. It's absolutely right.
Because
by the way,
lover's quarrel with Joker, and he just can't put him down.
Speaking of killing Joker, I watched Injustice yesterday, the animated.
I'm sorry.
That shit sucks.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
That was bad.
Thought you guys might enjoy this meme that's on the screen. You guys should come if you're listening only. Check out the YouTube. But this meme's hilarious. It's from the Suicide Squad when they're talking about how. Well, basically, it's just like no one will watch your spinoff unless my spinoff is dope as F. He's like, yeah, that's true.
Max is editing himself.
Yeah,
I am editing myself. I'm sorry. I'll post the meme that I. Sorry, okay.
Doesn't hold the same weight if you're dope as F.
Then you do it.
No, you already did it.
All right.
It's already passed. I want Idris Elba to make a cameo in this show at some point.
Cool.
Them have a rematch. And dude, that'd be hilarious. Last episode, they have a rematch, and Idris Elba shoots him again. Just recreate it, and then next season he's getting out of the hospital again. Perfect.
The one thing I like about the show too is it's keeping me guessing. Like, I don't know where it's going because I was like, all right, I knew that. I was like, all right, yeah. I watched this. The dude in charge, he's gonna be a butterfly. I saw that coming. But then, like, it's the part that got me is when Judo Master's like, you don't understand what butterflies are, and then Edifier shoots him. So it's like, what is it? Where's this going? Like, I'm still kind of stumped on where everything's going with it.
Yeah, I almost wonder if there's like two, because like we kind of get the fact that the butterflies are aliens, right? Because he has that little spaceship. And I'm assuming that that's for butterflies. I wonder if there's like two factions of butterflies. Because Mern, is Mern his name? The boss guy? Something like that. He is so adamant about getting butterflies and killing them. But then you find out at the end of this episode that he himself is a butterfly. And then you have Judo Master that says you don't understand butterflies. It's almost as if there's a butterfly war going on.
It's moths versus butterflies. I mean
it's the
war, and we're stuck in the middle of it.
What's the Decepticons and Autobots? Same story.
Mm-hmm.
Come to Earth and they're hiding as people instead of vehicles, and there's a robot war going on. I don't know. There's a lot of questions I have, and I'm excited for the next episode. This is probably the one show, like, because Boba Fett is like an afterthought for me now, but Peacemaker is like the show I wake up in the morning before I start my day at work and I immediately turn on. Like, I have to watch it. I can't,
it's the one show
wait.
I honestly hate that it's released episodically every week, because I'm like,
I want it
more
now.
So I watch. It's the only reason I've rewatched the episode so many times, because I want more. I'm like, I can't
I've seen each one about 3 times each, and my wife is annoyed. I've watched each one about 3 times. She could probably tell you what the show's about because I watched it so many times. I just love it. I love every second of it. And John Cena is just fantastic, and he needs to stick purely to comedy. Like, that's his wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you're not watching it, go watch it. It's good. It's a great show.
When he refers to himself as a chode.
Yeah.
But in a good way.
Yeah, he's a good chode.
Harcourt may be one of the most beautiful women on the planet.
Your tits look amazing in that shirt.
And I mean that in a non-offensive way.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a sexist way. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she is very pretty. It's true.
Yeah.
So good.
There you go, Aaron. If you're still listening, we said that the woman looks good.
Is that the only thing we said about any of the girls in this show? Is one of them's hot?
No, we've been talking about, forget Waller's kid's name. Adebayo? Adebayo? Yeah, we talked about her a lot.
How is your mom named Amanda and you're named Adebayo?
Can you bring me
Also,
can you bring me a salad and a side of garlic zoodles?
Or when he calls that the waitress, he's like, "Hey, sugar tits."
Yeah.
He's like, "I meant that as a compliment."
Yeah. Those are not sugar tits. She has sugar tits. You Dyedbeard even has sugar tits.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
And I think that I think that Adebayo sees him. She sees that he's misunderstood and that he's torn in this world of believing what his father has taught him and things that people have taught him versus what he's discovering the world to be. And
I think you see Harcourt softening to him too. By the end of this episode, you see her softening to him and starting to understand him a little bit. The one dude, Diebeard in the back, what's his name? What does he call himself? I don't know what it is. Diebeard, the big guy in the back.
John, I thought his name was.
No, but he calls himself something. It's his last name. Calls himself. Shit, man. Oh, Economos. Economos. That's what he was always referring to himself as, Economos. But he's the one guy that's like, fuck this guy, right? Like you don't see him softening. Like he thinks almost that Peacemaker is a joke, and I don't see that changing. I forget where I was going with my thought. I got so hung up on his name that I forgot where I was going. Whatever. Move on.
I don't know.
You guys got anything else?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I
the
just
most
think that
competent team ever, though.
if you're not watching Peacemaker on HBO Max, you definitely need to because it is definitely worth it.
We need more Eagly.
Yes.
More Eagly.
I want to see him fly down and claw somebody's eyes out.
Eagly doesn't like butterflies. We know that.
Yeah, I want to see some Eagly action. Like I want to see him kill somebody.
He'll bring you a dead possum.
Yep. That's so funny too.
Is Eagly outside? I don't know. You're not looking for your pet eagle. Just roll down the window and whistle and crinkle a bag. He'll think you'll have chips. He'll come right to you.
Yeah. Why are you feeding your eagle chips?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
So good.
Are you crying?
good.
No, I'm exercising my face.
Space exercises.
Yeah.
You gotta teach me that.
I think the best part though is Vigilante just complaining about his toe. The entire episode. Like it never changes. But we got to see some action with him, like he takes out those guys in the prison. Like easily. And for a while you thought, no, this guy is like a guy with a gun. He's like not that hand-to-hand combat. No. He kicks some ass in this episode. Like he takes those guys down no problem. To the point where when he was walking up to Augie, who's Peacemaker's father, I thought, oh, this guy's gonna get his ass kicked, right? Like it hadn't told me. I mean, because Judo Master, he didn't even stand a chance. At least Peacemaker kind of holds his own a little bit, but then he just whips out. He's trained, dude. Like I'm excited to see more of him.
Well, it's hard to stand a chance when you say "fuck this" and try to run away and still get your ass whooped.
But dude, a guy that knows how to fight like he did in the prison, like, and we just saw him in the last episode, like running away from somebody, like it doesn't connect, right?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem like the same guy, but he can definitely hold his own.
My butt dance. Look at my little butt dance.
I might go watch these again tonight after we're done with the show.
This is my friend Richie's brother. He's got mental problems. Dude,
Oh,
it's
so good. Hey, speaking of The Boys, when does that come out? Did a release date get announced? June?
Yeah,
June, yeah.
something. Yeah, June 3rd, maybe.
And when does Invincible come out again?
They haven't even started
yeah,
production on season 2 of Invincible yet.
Oh,
I don't think they will because I think they're going to start doing the live action stuff. So I think they're going to wait until after that to start production on season 2 of that.
That blows.
But
That blows. Well, what's next, Max?
That was it, man. That's the end of the show.
That's the end? We reached the end? We're
we
only
have
an hour
reached
25 in.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
Less news stories.
I feel like there's a lot of news this week.
Hey, I have a question. I was so, like I said, Max and I saw Spider-Man again, and there was a couple. Like every time I watch it, there's something new I noticed, right? And Matt, I wanted to get your thoughts on this. So, when we first see the Daily Planet, or not Daily Planet,
Daily
Bugle, yeah, Daily Planet, Superman. I know the difference. The Daily Bugle. He's like doing the show like in his apartment, right? Mm-hmm. And then later we see him like he's got like a big fancy studio, obviously from the success of unmasking Spider-Man, right? So his show is successful. Then Doctor Strange does the spell, and then we see Daily Bugle again, still with this expensive studio. So it didn't really wipe away all the causes, like the after effects of unmasking Spider-Man. So is it like, why would he then like lose his suit and stuff, and like I have questions about that. Like I'm not understanding. Like, wouldn't he be back in his apartment doing his show?
Not necessarily, because it didn't change the events that happened. It didn't change. All it changed was that the world forgot who Peter Parker was. So essentially, the way I'm understanding it is all those events still took place. Mm-hmm. Just the world doesn't remember who Peter Parker is. All they essentially stopped was the villains from other dimensions crossing over into this one.
So if Daily Bugle becoming a direct success because they unveiled Spider-Man, wouldn't that be then undone because that's directly connected? Because we now know that Peter Parker didn't get his diploma, right? Because he's studying for a GD. He lost his suits.
Well, he didn't graduate. Well, that all goes back to not graduating high school because he was disenrolled because nobody knew who Peter Parker was. Because he never officially graduated before all this even started. They were just filling out college applications. So you see it like progress. So just like any internet show does, except for this one, I guess, it progresses where he starts in his bedroom and then it grows into like he gets fame and then he gets a team behind him in a real studio and all that. So it's just like he's essentially got the same desk. It's just green screen behind him, in his shitty apartment, to where later on, as he gets more acclaim and fame for covering all this, he gets that studio team behind him. So it's kind of the same. I guess it's kind of the same. Like, you would think that he still gets that success for covering the events of what's going on in the whole Spider-Man thing, but everyone just forgets who Peter Parker even is.
But wouldn't because
they don't forget Spider-Man, they forget Peter Parker.
So wouldn't Peter still have the suits that Tony gave him?
He does, yeah.
No, he doesn't, because he had to make himself a brand new suit.
I don't think he had to. He decided.
I don't think he had to. I think he did. He just did.
Oh, see, the way it led me to think was that he no longer has a suit.
I mean, I don't know why he would lose his suit.
The best way it's been explained to me now is, think of this as a trilogy. You think of this as a trilogy. So this was Spider-Man in high school, and now we're stepping out to Peter Parker as an adult. He's stepping into adulthood. So it's getting to the more where he makes his own costume and things like, and that's what we never picked up on in our review, is that one of my favorite scenes in this entire movie is the very end brief scene, and I wish we could see more of it, of when you see his classic suit, the red and blue, in the sewing machine, and he's web slinging through the city in that classic red and blue suit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like he's ditching the Tony Stark stuff, and he's now adventuring out on his own. He's going from childhood to adulthood. He's dropping the tech, and he's moving on. So
He's becoming truly your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
well, and you also got to think of it too. So if the world, I don't know how much it changed the events. See, that's why this movie has a lot of plot holes in it. A lot of plot holes. If you sit back and analyze it the way we kind of did, and you kind of are right now, it has a lot of plot holes in it. So it's like, okay, well, did it go so far back that Tony never gave him these suits? That, he never knew who Peter Parker was, so he never got the Iron Spider suit. So he never got all that. And the only suit he was with was the home.
Well, he flat out says
suit.
like he can't change the past, right? Because
Right.
he no longer has a time stone. And we see halfway through the movie, like he goes to the high school and they built this whole shrine to him, right? If he can't change the past, wouldn't that shrine still be there? Like, that's what I have questions. Like, did he wipe everybody's memory, or did he change the past?
No, he just wiped everyone's memory of who.
So
not
wouldn't the
changed.
evidence still exist?
Sure.
Sure, yeah.
So it just
Like I
doesn't.
said, it's super
It confuses the hell out of me.
It's a super flawed ending.
Yeah.
People
The
can
one
figure
thing I
out
would've-
that it's him, but they would. Yeah.
It would have made more sense for the wish to be that I want everyone to forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. That's it. And you essentially get the one more day wish. You essentially get all the wishes, and it's donezo. But the flaw in it was I want the world to forget Peter Parker.
See, what he should have said was, I want the world to think that Flash Thompson is Peter Parker. And then put that whole shitstorm down on Flash.
Poor Flash.
Because Flash is a douchebag in this movie.
He's a douchebag, but does he deserve to have his existence wiped?
Yes. Yes. He's a douche. For 3 movies, he's a douche.
Well, Flash Thompson was always a douche to Peter Parker.
Name some. Yeah, I know that. But name somebody in this century that's nicknaming people Penis Parker.
Kyle Stinson.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I'm watching it again tomorrow because my sister hasn't seen it yet, and Max really wanted to go to the movies today, and there was nothing else to see.
Jesus, dude, calm down.
I really wasn't planning on seeing it 4 times, but Max.
I sat through it twice, and I'm like, I'm good until it comes out on digital or Blu-ray.
But I'm still having fun, because this time Max and I were able to go see it, and we were able to talk through the whole movie, like talk stuff through, because we'd both seen it before. I'm like, oh, dude, I didn't notice that.
Only ones on our row.
Yeah, so like I didn't realize, like, when he says he's gonna fix the mess that he made, when Electro he pulled all those power supplies off, and all the towers are covered in spider webs. Like that's how he fixed it. Like there were certain things, like just subtle little things that I didn't notice, and I'm sure tomorrow there's gonna be more things. I didn't notice that his studio changed, that he was in his apartment, then he had a full studio, and you know what I mean? Like I didn't notice things like that because I was so I guess the word's wonderstruck by what was happening. You know what I mean? That I'm sure there's gonna be more things that I notice.
I took that as like the visual progression of his popularity from breaking the news and
and that's what I was saying. Like he got popularity from breaking the news of Spider-Man, but now that everybody's forgotten, like would he still have?
Well, yeah, because he didn't change the events of what happened. He just changed that everybody forget who Spider-Man was. Everybody forgets who Peter Parker is.
So that leads me to believe that all the evidence that's out there still exists.
Yeah.
The shrine in the high school, the video that Mysterio made, like it all still exists.
The shrine might be there, but not with Peter's picture.
Yeah, because
But he can't change time.
he's not changing time. He's essentially
He's
erasing
erasing
Peter
himself.
Parker.
He's erasing people's memories of who Peter
Right.
Parker is.
Yes.
But how does he? But he's not erasing a picture. Like that's
Yeah.
what I'm like.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
essentially he is.
He's
essentially
erasing
making
pictures.
to where Peter Parker
videos.
never existed.
Any videos of Peter Parker would be wiped. Any
Yeah.
pictures of Peter would be wiped. Yes, that is what that means. So
But
I take it like, and you're going to laugh at me for the Harry Potter reference, but I take it like when Hermione does obliviate to her parents in the 7th Harry Potter book, and they showed in the movie too. She does it, and then all of the pictures of her with her parents, she disappears from those pictures. Like, that's how I took it. It's the same idea, a magic spell that just erases him from everything. Obviously,
Okay.
he's still alive, but no one remembers him.
So
It's as
then,
if
how
he
does he
existed.
rent an apartment?
He had to have come up with a fake ID. That's what I assume, because he's trying to get a GED under a fake ID too.
Does it show you a fake ID?
No, I'm just assuming.
Do you think his fake ID is Ben? No,
Ben
what's
Parker.
Ben Riley,
Ben Riley. Thanks.
his clone. No,
That'd be pretty funny if they never plan on bringing Ben Riley in. And we find
I
out in
just
the next
think
movie
it's-
that's
I
his
think
his alternate identity.
I don't think he's getting under an alias. I still think he's going under Peter Parker. I just think that nobody knows him now. He's got nobody.
But he would lose his social. Like if he's losing pictures of himself, he would lose his social. He would lose driver's licenses. He would lose any sort of identification. I mean, not
So-
even Happy knows who he is. You know what I mean?
How do they word it? They say everyone will forget Peter Parker. I don't.
Yeah.
It
So
is
in turn,
tough. It is-
the government would forget him too.
Yeah. No, you're right. So it's like, would his social security card be completely wiped away from existence, or would he still have it and just like need to re-register himself with the government?
Like I
Or-
said, it doesn't. It
doesn't matter,
It doesn't
though.
make sense. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's just
I hope there's a lot of explanations in the next movie.
we'll see.
Yeah.
I think all it like it did, like I said before, is it got this character to a point where Sony can say, all right, do we want to continue this Marvel relationship? Yes, cool. We're gonna go in this direction. No, we want to take it in our own direction. Sweet, we're gonna go this way. You know?
Yeah, this movie enables you to like kind of whichever way that relationship goes, the movie is a stopping point to where you can completely wipe Spider-Man from Marvel or continue to go. But I think the continuing to go with the Avengers and all that stuff is harder, by what they did in this movie.
And all I really know is that this movie clearly gave Andrew Garfield some time to reflect on his portrayal of Spider-Man and reflect on the way he did things. And if after this movie we don't get an Amazing Spider-Man 3 with him, it's a goddamn travesty. If they don't give him that one opportunity, that one last chance to play the character, it's a damn shame.
But I don't think that he was ever the issue.
I think he was.
I
The
don't think
second
it
one
was
he
him.
was.
No, I don't.
No,
I don't
I
agree
don't-
with that. I think it
don't
was
think he was ever
direction,
the-
writing, and villains.
No, I think he has a better understanding. He clearly has a better understanding of the character now than he did when he was playing it.
Well, the article I read was that it may not be an Amazing Spider-Man 2, and it may be him in the Venom universe.
Well, no. So I've seen that the Venom universe is set in the Amazing Spider-Man universe.
Yes.
I think that'd be cool.
So
I'm
like
okay with it.
Morbius, so the poster we're seeing in Morbius is a fake. It's not Toby. It's not Tom Holland. It's actually Andrew. Garfield's Spider-Man. And the Tom Hardy's Venom is set in that same universe.
Which I
And-
still don't know if I want to see Tom Hardy's Venom with Spider-Man because it just won't make sense to me now.
And they could just kind
I
of
think they can make it work.
different universe so it can work the way however it needs to work.
They
No.
need to make it to where like the Venom symbiote's like making him crazy, and he starts going bad. Like I don't know. I just don't
the
see a
Venom
world
symbiote
where
never made him crazy. The only reason the Venom symbiote was evil is because it was rejected by Peter Parker, and because the Venom symbiote's main goal is to always get back to Peter. He wants that power. He feeds on the power that Peter has, so he always wants.
No,
that.
I know that.
And the fact that he's rejected by him gives him that hatred. And then Eddie Brock, it's their shared hatred for Peter Parker is what drives Venom to become Venom.
Yeah, so there needs to be something that happens that makes Eddie hate Spider-Man. Like, we already know how they can, the symbiote jumps from Eddie to Andrew Garfield, and then Andrew Garfield rejects it. Like, we know how that part can happen, right? But what
in the movies,
makes
it doesn't even have
Eddie hate
in the movies,
Spider-Man?
it doesn't even have to do that because he connects Eddie to the hive mind, which is a collection of all the memories of every symbiote ever. And so it could be that the hive mind is multidimensional, and because Venom's symbiote in Amazing Spider-Man, or not Amazing Spider-Man, because Venom's symbiote in Spider-Man 3, the one that attaches to Topher Grace, remembers that power and that feeling of Spider-Man. That's where you're getting where he says this guy at the end of Venom 2.
Yeah.
And
Which
so
all that makes sense.
He has that recollection of what it's like to feel that power.
Yeah, that all makes sense. But how do you make Eddie hate Spider-Man?
I don't think you necessarily have to.
But Eddie still has
be...
a lot of control over the symbiote, right? We've seen that. He won't let him eat people. He won't let him, you know what I mean? Like, we've already seen.
They're very much at odds.
I think this Venom just isn't for you, Lance.
Yeah.
It's okay. You can get the MCU version that'll hopefully be more to all of our likings.
Yeah, I think that the multiverse thing that you were saying, Matt, is exactly true. And I think he's going to know that he left a piece of himself behind. And I think that he left a piece of himself behind deliberately to get to Spider-Man.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
I don't know. I'm excited. I want to see what they do, because so far Venom has disappointed me 3 times, if you count Spider-Man 3. And he's one of the best characters in the Marvel universe. And every cinematic version has disappointed me in some fashion.
And I think that's where when Tom Holland says that he doesn't know if he wants to play Spider-Man anymore, and he's leaving that character behind, yada yada yada. I think he's talking more of the way he portrays Peter Parker in the Homecoming trilogy. And now we're going to see something completely different when they come back to the table for the next 3 movies that
are grown up,
rumored / soft confirmed. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
well, they've been confirmed by Amy and Kevin Feige, right? Amy Pascal and
at least one has been confirmed.
Yeah, so and it confuses me how they say he's still got one more role, or like a star, not starring role, but supporting role in another Avengers movie coming up. So it's still kind of like makes me question how that's going to work.
I wonder if it's Doctor Strange.
It might be. It kind of makes me think maybe all of this stuff is going to get undone in Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness.
Well, and see, that's what I was thinking too, until I realized, America Chavez is in this movie, right?
Yeah.
And isn't her whole power being able to open multiversal dimensions? Holes?
I'm not real familiar with America Chavez. That's one character I'm not well versed in.
So I think that her power is she's able to, like how Doctor Strange opens those portals, right? That she's able to do that from multiverse, which is how all these characters start spilling in. But from the trailer, it looks like the multiverse is crumbling.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of questions about that too. But I mean, there's been rumors of John Krasinski, Patrick Stewart, Michael Fassbender, who's the other? James McAvoy, Hugh Jackman, Tobey Maguire. Like, there's been rumors of so many people being in this movie. The only ones I know is Doctor Strange is in it, America Chavez, and Doctor Strange's girlfriend, and Wong, and those guys. It's just crazy how many rumors are floating around. And I was telling Max that I almost think that it's Marvel releasing all this fake stuff.
Yeah, and I don't want to hear about any of it. I don't want to.
Well, I'm just saying I don't know what's real. Probably none of it's real. I have no idea. You're going to be surprised regardless.
I think there's a lot of it that is. I think the Krasinski stuff is 100%.
Yeah, at this point, everything would surprise me. Like, I don't know whether one's real and one's not. Like, I think there's definitely some fake ones in there.
Yeah.
And they all have their enough to support them to make it like legit. I mean, Sam Raimi's directing this movie, so Tobey Maguire could show up, right? And John Watts, is that who directed these 3 Spider-Man? John Watts? Yeah. He's directing Fantastic Four, so John Krasinski could show up. Or it could be somebody else as Reed Richards. I have no idea. You know, there's so much that could happen.
It's going to be Paul.
What are you looking at?
So this is the Marvel database, like wiki.
That's really blurry, dude. I don't know if anybody can see that.
I can see it. I can see it just fine.
Yeah. So she has star portal creation.
That's better.
Miss America has the rare ability to smash open star-shaped portals that enabled her to traverse the multiverse. She can use them offensively as a spatial slicer, as well as access the Starling Highway.
Yeah.
She can travel between realities. She can time travel. So yeah, you're right. That is one of her abilities. And considering that they have her in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I bet that's one of her powers in the MCU. Because, you know, they don't always bring all of the characters.
They can use her to go back in time and change the
fix
events.
Peter.
Yeah. I need you to fix my Peter.
Penis.
Did you guys talk about Moon Knight yet?
Yeah, we did.
We talked about it all.
Looks like trash.
What? Really?
Yes.
I think it looks awesome.
No.
I think it looks interesting.
But are you really familiar with the character?
Yeah, his costume looks like garbage.
I did have gripes about his costume.
I hope that's just like pre-production, like first look stuff, that it's more refined when it actually comes on Disney Plus. That character, I'm worried too that you're not going to get the violence and the fighting. Like you need kind of like the Daredevil feel for this character. I'm afraid that's going to not do transition well to Disney Plus, and the costume just looks really bad.
Well, I was telling
the
Max
whole CGI costume.
I was telling Max that he's kind of Marvel's version of Batman, right?
Essentially, yeah, but he's schizophrenic.
Yeah,
he's got multiple personalities.
And then I was telling him too that like like every time I've seen him in the comics or whatever, his suit's white, and then this is kind of like gray.
Yeah, it should be white.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. I thought the trailer looked awesome, but I have no familiarity with this character, despite the things I just talked about: the multiple personalities, the white suit, the aggression, and the dark stuff. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna, of course, watch it, but I just think that first trailer has this kind of like expecting a little bit more. I'm expecting a little bit more out of the costume. But
well, didn't we also say when we saw the very first trailer for Hawkeye, none of us were really impressed with that either?
I was on board with Hawkeye from the jump.
I was too.
I thought it looked kind of tame until like the second or third trailer came out.
I always thought that show looked cool.
Yeah, I didn't get that same vibe.
I just don't understand what's going on in Moon Knight. Like, I'm interested in it, but I watched it and I'm like, I think it's going to be
trippy. I think it's going to be trippy. Like, judging by the trailer that's bouncing back and forth, and he's essentially always awake, it seems like. Like, whether he's sleeping, he's awake in some reality, and like he doesn't even know his own name. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think it's going to be a trippy show.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are we good?
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Thank you everybody for joining the podcast tonight. It's been a fun time.
Yeah, you guys are welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Hey, you're supposed to be off, so I'm doing the outro. Unless you want to do it.
I know. I just jumped on, man. I was like, we can jump on and see what the guys are doing. Aaron was feeding the baby, and I was like, it's been like doctor's appointments and people coming and going, and
yeah. Sure.
It's gonna be like that for a couple weeks.
Lack of sleep, and it's been.
She crying a lot.
Not doing what it did. You know, she honestly doesn't. She's not. She's actually a really good baby. Like she cries when she's hungry, and the only other time she really cries is when she's getting changed. That's it. Like,
yeah.
Even sometimes when she's getting changed, she's cool until you hit her butt with the wipe, and then she's like, "Oh, F this."
That's cold.
Yeah, she's mad, but she loves getting her hair washed.
Oh, that's awesome.
She loves baths. She loves snuggles. Like she's been ultimately good kid. Last night was like our first real rough night where she just was so tired that she just did not want to go to sleep. So like we finally got her to sleep somewhat at 1, and then by like 2:30 she was up again. So I was up with her till 4, and Aaron and I switched off. But last night was
not working, right?
Real rough night. No, I'm off for this week and next week. But last night was our first just real rough night. But otherwise, she's been pretty darn cute. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Well,
thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. Thanks for those in the chat. We had Quantum Kyle, we had Patrick, we had Kyle, Kermit Fry,
Sticks,
quite a few other people. Aaron, of course. Yep, I said Patrick. If only you'd listened. Corbin was in the chat.
I block you out. Corbin was.
Yeah, Corbin showed up for a few minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, man. It was a
Where?
good chat. We had 3 or 4 Russians come in and try to post malicious links. So thank you for giving us some views. Appreciate that.
Yeah, Corbin said, "What's good, fam?" At 8:01, he was in here.
Yeah, man. But thanks everybody, and for the Absolute Geek Podcast, I am Max.
I'm Lance.
And I guess I'm Matt.
Yeah, you're Matt.
I'm not.
All you freaks and geeks,
come all you freaks and geeks, let's listen to Absolute Geek.
Absolute Geek.
We'll go ahead and spread our cheeks,
Spread the cheese
and drink
And
some
over for
Cosby wine.
We'll
Come
drink
on,
some
Absolute
Cosby wine. It makes me feel real fine. See you next time on the Absolute Geek